Well, yesterday night, if you follow all the videos, yesterday's video, we had a Ruts Hut meetup. Probably had 2,000 bikes there. It was one of the biggest bike meets I've ever been to. Met up with some old friends, made some new friends. It was really an exciting night. And it was a lot of fun too. And the biggest thing of all that always comes out of that, a night like that, is I see what great camaraderie there is among the motorcyclists. It really is a good group to belong to. And it was just crazy to hear that within the last week, the person that lives on one side of me, Jason, who is now riding a Harley, and he had the bike all along and he's back riding. I hear it starting up on a regular basis. And the house directly behind me, they're watching videos and that fella's riding too. So we're going to be all getting together here pretty soon. We're going to have and Don and his wife, 3 houses down. They were at the bike meet too, so we kind of had like a high school reunion. It was pretty cool. But of course, this time of year I try to ride every day. Doesn't always work out because of the weather. The weather is a constant problem, and it's pouring rain today, all day today. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do the next step on the BIMOTA repair, the fairing, try to get that. I don't know how it's going to play out in the end because this is the first time we've done that John Pothia trick. Seems like it's working good. We don't know how it's going to play out in the end though. Now, and it just couldn't be any more fun. A night like last night, the weather was perfect, and I really am just shocked. This morning I wake up and it's 20 degrees colder and pouring rain. You never know in New Jersey. So, as I always say, I hate the idea that my life is going to ever become a Groundhog Day again. I had 18 and a half years of working for Ford Motor Company where every day was exactly like the day before. And had 25 years of being in my own business where every day was a little different. And I like it being different. And what I did the other day, I didn't bother videotaping because I just wanted to go for a short ride to see if I was happy with the way these adjustable RZM levers worked out. Couldn't have been any better. Again, I like to give them a plug. The product was good and their service is excellent. So this is what I got to deal with all day long here. Rain, but it'll be a good day to work on that BIMOTA. Okay, so the last time we worked on this, we still have the part of this. I'm trying to candle this so it's difficult. You can still see that crack coming through. So what I'm going to try to do, of course, is get some 2500 sandpaper and block sand that down. This is really the only way to do this, is to constantly be block sanding it, because we've added material here. We've let it dry a couple of days, though maybe we could sand that down enough that we don't have the ditch. Because no matter what you do, if you buff it out, you're still going to see the ditch. And then once that's repaired, and maybe I may have to even add some clear to it. If that's the case, we're going to put some clear. But I want to fill that ditch. That is, and on a job like this, again, these parts are very expensive and sometimes irreplaceable. So it pays to do the amount of labor that we're doing. Okay, this is 2500 Merca sandpaper. A hard sanding block. And again, a lot of times you have to do this over and over again. It can you get impatient or frustrated, but eventually, if you just stick with the program, you'll get your way. And as I've said before, in the case of Vlad, I know he's got a collection of very exotic, sometimes hard to replace parts motorcycles. He's been a really good friend for many years, gotten me many motorcycle parts. He has a motorcycle parts supply business, and he's just been a good friend in a lot of ways. So I tend to go the extra mile on something like this, but the reality is I go the extra mile just because I don't want to have a part that I could make a little bit better leave the shop and it's not as good as I can make it. It's my personal ego that's at stake, I guess. I guess that's the reality of it. Anyway, this will be, I'm just going to pick away at this for 15 minutes or so. I won't let the camera run. But boy, Ruts Hut last night was just exceptional. I've been to a lot of them. See, what they usually have Wednesday night is normal bike night, and it's the same old guys if you go every week, the same I don't know, people are there that live relatively close, I guess. But they must have had over 1,000 people there last night. I don't know. They were flying drones overhead, and somebody's going to post up some cool stuff about that, I'm sure. And a lot of the dealers have the kiosks there and stuff. It's kind of nice. So it looks like, and I'm being a little optimistic here, it looks like I'm going to be able to get most of or all of this out if it's my lucky day. Now we got that block sanded to the point where you can barely see it, but what I want to leave is because I'm going to compound over this. I don't need to get the last little bit out. The compound will do that. I tried to get all the overspray off of here. Now the next thing is to just pull all the back masking off. Want to see how deep that edge is, because we're going to have to dress that edge off a little bit. And then get out the 4CR and see if we can clean off some of the Brooklyn Road scratches on this. Now there's several scratches along the bottom here that I'm not sure they're stone chips or whatever, but I'm trying to sand as many of them as I can out. And what's going to make that possible is because we have the amount of clear we have on here. If this were a factory part, I'd be hesitant thinking we're going to sand right through the clear, and maybe we'll sand through this by the time we're done. I don't know, but I know the 4CR will do a nice cut on this and it'll leave a nice finish. And I think if we get this, as much of it out with the 2500 as we can, we'll have a real good chance once we start buffing this of getting it to come up. Again, sometimes you have to go back and forth over these things 3 or 4 times before you get them to where they're, well, oh, there's scratches up here. I didn't even see that too. So anyway, we're gonna go get the 4CR and the big buffer and see how this is going to play out. Now the part of this is where this where this ends. You want to try to get the paint edge off, and the same thing down there. It's going to require a little 2500 grit and a little bit of elbow grease and some time. And then the buffing part of this will be labor intensive would be the best word I know. But and then what we'll try to do, assuming this looks okay, we'll run the buffing wheel on the whole part, of course, and try to pick up any little scratches, get them out of the mix, because I know this part has a lot of clear on it. Where when you buy factory parts that you never know how much clear, sometimes they have one coat of clear and you just one swipe of the sandpaper and they're done. You never know. That's the thing you never know with factory stuff. Anyway, we'll spend some time. This has got to be, I know I have to do this edge. The edge is kind of, but that edge you don't really see, so this is the part that I'm more concerned with. And it just takes time. It's a patience-oriented thing. And it's a thing where you know you're almost impossible to make it that, especially when you know there's a repair there, you look for it. That you don't see it, but the idea is to get it as good as you possibly can under whatever conditions you have here. And it's always a labor of love. And this is the compound that we've had really good luck with the 5-star clear, and I know this is 5-star clear. This is the product that I would think would be the easiest way to bring this back to a nice shine. Now, as I look at this real close, now that I've cleaned it up, there's a lot of little road scratches on this. So this may require a little more compounding than I originally thought, but I guess we're going to figure it out. This is the way I've found it makes it as easy as possible, is spread the stuff all around. So you're always picking up new stuff on the edge of the wheel. And since we'll do the whole part here, as long as we have the wheel out. And again, that word always keeps coming up of labor intensive. Now I put paper towels under here to try to stabilize it. Speed 2 would be probably a good place to start. And one of the things I always like to do at the end of ever using a buffing wheel or any kind of polishing is do the last little bit by hand, using a clean microfiber at the very end. I would say from the way this came out, it was about 10 times the amount of labor I thought it would be, but I think the result is going to be really good. I think Vlad will be really happy with it. He won't have to go searching the internet for more BIMOTA parts, and boy, I can imagine. I know when people like exotic bikes, they're very happy to pay these prices. I like AutoZone prices. I like Luciano prices. And by the way, isn't it funny now that if you've watched that the video before this, the Ruts Hut, there are 2 Lucianos now. We're going to have to name Luciano 1 and Luciano 2 or something like that. Anyway, I want to just look at how this is coming out. Oh boy, that's perfect. That's going to be nice. I'll get a brand new microfiber and put a final shine on this. I'll give Vlad a call, tell him he's ready to put the BIMOTA back in service. Boy, and I always feel so good about once I have a part that I've worked on and it's done, and I can look at it under, you know, extremely good lights. Remember, in a shop here, when I'm working, I'm under fluorescent lights, so you tend to see mistakes you'd never see in the sun. Just like when you do any kind of work on body work, you want to be under fluorescent lights. So anyway, this is, let me get a clean one. This one still got some polish on it. I wanted to see, I was really happy the way this came out. Wow. And like I said, I always like to, at the end of a job, admire the amount of effort that went into that. A lot of effort went into that. I'm sure Vlad will appreciate it. Okay, Vlad, I think it's safe to say you can put the BIMOTA back in service. So the part is going back into service. Vlad, I wish you knew how many hours I put into this, but it really did come out. I don't know if you can see the finish on it is really nice. For a part that basically was in a dumpster not that long ago, I guess we're in Fat City here. So, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. And, of course, thanks for watching.